Hello and welcome to the short Vort on Yom Kippur and Vayelech. Let's take the little bit of a lighter than usual side to Yom Kippur. But first let's discuss Parshas Vayelech, the Parshas HaShavua. In Perek Lamed Aleph, Pasuk Yutes, the Pasuk says, V'ata kisvu lachem es hashira zos. Moshe Rabbeinu, as his end is approaching, is told to write a Sefer Torah for the Bnei Yisrael, and the Pasuk refers to the Torah as a Shira. The Gemara in Sota says that David HaMelech was punished because he called the Divrei Torah, he called it Zmiros. Well, if the Torah is calling it a Shira, what's so bad about calling the Torah Zmiros? So the Vilna Gaon answers that the difference is that a Zemer is something that is a limited amount. It's finite, there's some point to it. So therefore you can't call the Torah a finite object. However, a Shira is something that's infinite, there's no end to it, and therefore you can call the Torah a Shira. I also want to follow up on last week. I mentioned that one minor Kabbalah that I took to try to do for the first month of Tishrei in improving myself is that I would, at home, I would stop and I would not walk while I was saying the Tefillah of Asher Yotzar. So that fits perfectly with starting with last week was the Parshas of Nitzavim and Vayelech. So I stopped, and that actually helped me progress, because what I've seen already in a matter of days is, firstly, not only am I having better kavanah when I say the tefillah, also, even when I'm not home, I'm more careful with stopping and not making Asher Yatzar a tefillas haderach. And also some of my other brachos, I'm having better kavanah and also stopping and not walking while I say them. So you have an opportunity also to still make a Kabbalah to show Hashem the down payment of how you can improve. One way to do that would be, as someone did last year, listen to the short Vort every week that's put out. Didn't miss any Parshios last few years. Hopefully this year I'll continue that streak with your support. Moving along to Yom Kippur, I have two different items to share. One is there was a story about, I heard from Rabbi Gabi Fried about this, whether it's a Rebbe or a Rav or Rosh Hashiva. He said it depends on what part of the Jewish spectrum you're on, but the person comes to his teacher and he says, please teach me about how to do tshuva. So we'll call it the Rebbe. The Rebbe says, what do you need to do tshuva on? So the Chassid or the Talmud says, I didn't wash my machronim after at the meals. Why didn't you wash my machronim? He says, well, I didn't bench. So then the Rebbe says, why didn't you bench? So the Talmud answers, well, the food wasn't exactly kosher. What do you mean it wasn't kosher? Well, it wasn't exactly a kosher restaurant. Well, why didn't you go to a kosher restaurant? Well, it was Yom Kippur and there were no kosher restaurants open. So that's the story there, and you can take your own lesson from it. I'm going to move to something that Rabbi Kaminetsky has shared also regarding Yom Kippur, and that is that there was once a story about an apostate that was anti his co-religionist, and he was close though with the ruler of the locale, and therefore the people tried to be sensitive to him and not antagonize him. However, one year the apostate came to the rabbi of the shul and says, this year I want to blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah. The rabbi says, no, you can't, because you have to be a religious Jew, an Orthodox Jew. You have to be God-fearing, and you're not. So the guy got upset and he went to the ruler. So the ruler called in and the rabbi and he said, look, I want my friend to blow the shofar on your holiday of Rosh Hashanah. So the rabbi said, we'd be happy to let him blow the shofar. However, we were thinking of a better idea. Rather than blowing the shofar on Rosh Hashanah, he can blow it on an even holier day, on Yom Kippur. At the end of Yom Kippur, he can do it. The ruler thought, this sounds reasonable. So he went over to the apostate and he said, all right, I spoke to the Jews, it's all settled. They're going to let you blow the shofar on the higher holiday, on Yom Kippur. The apostate was upset. No, you don't understand. On Rosh Hashanah, you get to blow the shofar 100 times. So then the ruler said to his friend, he says, well, you're a fool. Once you have that shofar, you can blow the shofar as many times as you want. Rav Chaim Kanievsky says this is exactly talking about Yom Kippur as a mashal for us. That Rosh Hashanah, we're already fasting, we're already in shul and davening, we're already doing tshuva. Well, we have to take the full opportunity to make sure we do teshuva gemura as deeply and as wholesomely as we want. We have to take care of the opportunity and not let it go to waste. So wishing you all a Gemara Chasima Tova, wishing you a good Shabbos and a Shana Tova. Thank you for always listening. I hope you'll come back next week.